MDJ podcast. And what does that stand for?
Mr. DJ Podcast.
What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. We're here with podcast number 14, and I got 4 special guests today that are joining me on the podcast. You guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, guys. I'm Nora.
Hi, I'm Armin.
Hi, I'm Linz.
And I'm back, the most charismatic man in entertainment. Thank you for having me, man.
Appreciate it, man. So, we're in 2022, and I feel like there's a frequent misunderstandings between the opposite sex. And I feel like with the access of the internet and social media, you would think that we would be able to come together, being that everybody has, like a voice, so to speak, to share their experience and their mindsets and their opinions and all that other types of stuff. But it's gotten worse. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you guys about is, what is your stance on gender roles? So let's say, like, men paying all the bills and women staying at home and staying in the kitchen, making the food, taking care of the babies, changing diapers, letting the dogs go outside. So what's your thoughts on that? And I definitely wanted to have women on this podcast, because one thing that the MDJ podcast has been devoid of is the female perspective. So in any particular order.
Man, as far as gender roles, I think it really depends on the needs for each particular relationship. And so for me, I think it's best to kind of find balance in just any relationship. And if sometimes the gender roles need to switch up a little bit just to find that balance, I think is the most important thing. Because if you don't have that balance, that's when you're going to have the arguments, the back and forths, issues about other things, silly things. So I think gender roles is really specific to each relationship and the needs for each person within that relationship.
I agree. I think for me, especially, I've been in relationships where it was like very unbalanced. And when I hear the word gender roles, especially when it comes to a relationship, we all have our part to play in a sense where I know what I bring into the relationship and you know what you, or at least what you want to bring into it. And I think gender roles should it shouldn't just be about money. I feel like when people hear gender roles, they immediately go to how much money you bring into the relationship. And I think it's beyond that. I think it's like Ermine said, it's like, what do I bring into it as far as what do I do for this particular person? What a man can do, sometimes a woman can do, and vice versa. Sometimes what a woman can do, a man can do. So I think, especially when it comes to relationships and gender roles, I think we both play probably the same parts in certain areas, but at the end of the day, I think it's what you bring into the relationship more so of a role, if that makes any sense.
Okay, I agree.
I agree with both Ermine and Nora, but I do personally feel that I need a man to act like a man. If I can tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, then I can't be the man and the woman. Just saying.
Well, okay. So what do you mean by that? So what do you mean by you need a man to be a man?
I just I'm 5'5", 100-something pounds. I want to feel vulnerable. I know what I bring as a single woman. I know I can hold my own. I got my education. I have my career. I know what I bring, but I want to be able to be in a relationship where I could feel vulnerable. That stereotypical strong Black woman. When I'm in a relationship, I want a man to be a man, to allow me the capability to be vulnerable, to be soft, to be able to be feminine. On my own, I'm holding down what I need to hold down. Together, I want to be the woman. I want to feel like I can express myself. I want to feel open. I want him to be a man. I want him to be a protector, a provider, a partner. But there has to be a difference of you're the man, I'm the woman. Once I feel like I can tell you what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, then I'm crossing that line where I can't express my vulnerabilities, I can't express my softness, then I feel like I can control the situation. Once I can control it, what's the point of it?
So, all right, because the conclusion that I want to come to is that you want the quintessential man. You want the perfect guy, but I don't think that's the case. So what you want, or being like a man's man to you, so that really kind of boils down to the relationship that you guys have, rather than like what he's actually bringing to the table. So let's say like if we were in a relationship, it's based on like our dynamic that will determine how much of a man I am to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. I could bring in more than you, but you still need to be a man.
I feel you.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
No, that's not unreasonable at all. That's not unreasonable at all. All right, so Percy, what you think about gender roles, man?
Yeah, I agree with all of them, and I think what Lynn said is especially true. I think it depends on the dynamic of your relationship, right? Because I think the way how society has stamped it, you know, we're not in the 1950s and the 40s no more, where you know the woman had no choice but to stay with the man because she couldn't just up and leave, you know. So I think at this point, you know, with a lot of women making more money than most men are, you know, I think it really just depends on what you want. Some women like the man being the head of the household. Some women want to take charge. Some men don't mind staying at home with the kids. So I think we should just scratch it all because one, you know, it's 2022. Nothing ain't cheap no more. You know what I'm saying? You know, gas over here is $6 itself. So
For real.
you know what I'm saying? So I think it really just depends on what's comfortable for you and your household. And if you're happy with that, then you know, by all means.
So being that I kind of agree with all you guys, so I don't know if I know that Nora and Ermine saw this. I don't know if Lynch, you got a chance to watch this podcast where, how do I describe this monstrosity of a podcast? So basically, there was a one episode, and she was saying that
to pay the rent, he has to pay for the house, he has to pay for the food. I don't see myself getting a 9 to 5. I want to be. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I want to be with a man who's a provider, who will allow me to be a housewife. I want to be a lady of leisure.
Tell them about the birthday thing you told me, please. I wouldn't
buy a man a birthday gift. No. He has me.
No, she's not gonna clean. She's not gonna clean.
I'm not cleaning, by the way. I'm not cleaning or cooking.
She's a clean. You do not have the facilities to look after Madam Ikra. That's why you're hating.
she had that she loves when men essentially take care of everything. That she's a woman who went to pursue a higher education. She's got 2 degrees, but doesn't want to use them because she just wants a man to essentially take care of everything. She says she wants to be a woman of leisure. If you guys know what she said, she wants to just, be at home. And I feel like that fits the criteria for a gender role, except I feel like that's like gender roles, but on steroids, because she's really just, doing anything. Now I'll tell you what my reaction to that was. If you're going to be a woman and you're going to go full, I don't even want to call it feminist, but if you want to be full housewife and you want to go back to the 20s and the 30s, but you don't want to cook, you don't want to clean, and then you don't want to buy me anything for my birthday because I have you, technically, then I'm going to go full male chauvinist. You can only eat when I tell you can eat. You can only use it for about 10 minutes. The lights go off at 9 p.m. and I'm saying, in a bedroom, it's on demand, on command. You see what I'm saying? I see them dirty. You don't have a problem. Like, if you're gonna take full advantage, I'm taking full advantage.
It's called business, man. It's called business.
You see what I'm saying? Now, am I wrong for that? So you guys can give me your opinion, but also let me know if I'm wrong for having that sort of reaction.
Okay, I have to say this. There is nothing, and I repeat, there is nothing wrong with wanting to live a life of leisure. I need us to take that stigma of leisure as being lazy and not wanting to do anything. I think there's 2 differences. Living a life of leisure means that you are living in a way where you have no worries. Everything is even if you may have bills or something like that, everything's taken care of. Everything is good. You're not stressed about work. You're not stressed about certain things. So I think saying I want to live a life of leisure, I think it's a very like open definition, I guess you would say, for different people. I saw the podcast. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed a lot when I heard this, because for me it's like, maybe because I was raised in a single parent household. I was raised by a very strong, DJ. We come from the same mother, so he knows. Right. We come from a very strong woman who has literally been holding down her own for a very long time. So to be raised by someone like that, for me, all in all, when you are a woman, you want to, I don't know, like, I just found a lot of not so great things about what she said, especially the fact that, like, she didn't want to do anything, not even buy the man a birthday gift. Like, buy a man a gift at least. Like, come on. But all in all, I think for me personally, back to like being raised by someone very strong and always being around very strong female role models, I could not, like, my best friend who's on this podcast, she is one of the strongest people that I know. Like, I could just not want to move in a way where I'm not making my own money, where I'm not providing for myself, where I'm not doing certain things. So like this concept of having someone take care of everything and you're doing absolutely nothing, like a Cheshire cat in a house. I just was like, what? Where are we going with this? Like, is this what people aspire to be? Because it's scary.
You'd be surprised.
So that's what I took out of it.
I have to put something in. As a single woman raising a male, hearing that, I was afraid for my son. I'm afraid for my child. Like, these are the women that are out there. Like, I'm raising him to be a gentleman, to take care and be, you know, overall what he needs to be, the best version of himself. To hear another female say that, I'm like, I'm scared. What is he going to bring home? Because I'm not that type of woman.
Yeah. I mean, maybe things will get better by the time he gets to that, to start dating. So maybe things will turn around.
He's 12. It's coming. Dating is coming.
It is.
Ermine, what about you?
I mean, okay, so when I saw that video, here's the thing. I agree with Nora about there's nothing wrong with wanting a life of leisure. As I'm looking at her and just knowing the type of man she wants to have that type of lifestyle. Obviously, I'm sure it's one of those. I think she even mentioned like 6, 7, 8 figures. That type of thing where it's someone that can financially support her. So, yeah, I think she even mentioned in the video that like eventually later on in the video that it's like, say for example, something happened to this man that she was with. She was like, I'm just gonna have to get another one. Go ahead and support myself. You know what I mean? So. The thing is, the type of woman that was in the video having these types of requests.
Oh boy.
And the type of man she looks to acquire in her life to have these Mets, Mets met.
Right.
I mean, so there's those type of men, and I'm not saying she's
just say cold girl.
She's a beautiful girl. But I've been.
I don't know about that.
I've known those type of men. Okay, see. So you're like,
no, but let's be real. You probably thought she looked. No, sorry, not to cut you off, but like when you even said, "I don't think so," I think after hearing what she had to say, she wasn't that pretty to you.
No, I just know what she. I know what she looked like. I know what she's gonna look like in the morning without all that makeup. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Oh, well,
there you
she's
go.
mid. Like she's just mid. You know
right. I mean, the way you can tell, the way like she was dressed and everything like that, she knows she has to put out in some way to kind of get attention because it's not going to be solely on a beautiful face. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's a fact.
So the thing, that type of person doesn't mean she's not beautiful. She doesn't have her own beauty in her own right. No. But the type of man she's looking for, no offense, you are not quite on the radar. And I mean, I mentioned she experience of a man, like, treating her, whatever the case was. But the guy, but they kept asking her, are you with the guy now? Are you with the guy now? He's not there.
Exactly.
He's not there because again, you're not what he was trying to hit it a couple of times. Maybe gave you a little bit of money that wasn't out of his reach too much to go ahead and pay your student loans. What a blessing, truly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he wasn't going to turn you into a wifey to take care of you financially for the rest of your life. If you weren't that value to him.
Facts.
And the thing is, to be that type of value to the man, you can be a housewife to guys. That's fine. That's your thing. That's cool. But you have to know what it is that you're bringing to the table for that guy, and vice versa. You know what I mean? If it's the other way, if roles are switched. And I think for her, she has to understand, like, if you're just basing on the fact that you're the gift, you better be the baddest thing that walked and then some, because he has to go ahead and walk in his circle of peers who have supermodel wives because of the work they put in to create the net worth that they have. Right. You better stand next to the supermodel wives that they have to kind of walk, because it's like the same thing as having luxury cars. It's all about status, but the better that you're able to get, that means that's the higher of your value and your worth overall. It's not even just finances, it's all around your whole lifestyle. And so if you can't stand next to these type of women, no offense, it's not worth it for them to just fund a lifestyle for you. Because if they can't get that type of person for them to stand next to and consider as their wife, that's not, no one's going to pay for you just to be pretty, because no offense, you're not on that caliber of beauty.
See, I was even saying, my bad. I was like, yo, if she was really about that life and like that was really her lifestyle, then she wouldn't be on no podcast. First of all, you had to audition to be on that podcast. You wouldn't even been there. You would have been living a life of leisure. But no, you there on the podcast talking about it. Yo, she like I wasn't there.
Those women that have that ability, they already are either wifed up or they're dating already that millionaire guy that's about to wife them up.
And they're just going on interviews at this point. They're not like in an actual podcast.
They're not, they actually have those contacts lined up. You know what I'm saying? So because they hold that level of value. I mean, like, but I think it would be better if she was a woman that was saying, okay, I want to be a housewife. I'm going to go ahead and cook it for my man. And, you know, maybe use his little card to take a little gift for him, but at least it came from the heart type of thing.
She wanted to do nothing. She said she wanted to do nothing.
That, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you can still be cute and stay home, but at least help him be the man you want him to be, which is you want him to have 8 figures. That means he doesn't have a lot of time to go ahead and maintain other things in your life. He's got to go and get that bag. So what he should do is make his life as comfortable as possible.
Fill in the gaps.
So he can focus to do that. And that's why it comes back to the gender roles and the balance and what have you. It's about that at the end of the day. If you can't even get that value, you're just a gift, ma'am.
Yes, Sally, mistaken.
Well, I'm your liability.
Oh no!
Yo, dead ass. Yo,
that's true.
I'm so happy that like she didn't agree, because there's so many women out there that literally would like get mad at me for not agreeing with her, or me having the opinion that I pretty much told y'all, like, all right, if you're gonna not do anything in my house, I'm gonna go full Haitian man. You know, open toe sandals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
oh no. Oh, but I will say this: if you really watch the Percy, did you see the podcast?
No.
Dang,
I wish you saw it. Yeah. But if you really watch it, though, like, to be quite honest, her viewpoint is an extreme.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really say like this is what women think, because to be quite honest, I even was like looking at her sideways, and we probably will mention it later on, but she even goes, oh yeah, like if I do have a business, it'll be like a little business, like a cosmetic business selling lipstick. And I was like, you're really reaching, because there are women and men, because there are men in cosmetics. There are people out there who are working night and day for that little business that you call a hobby. How rude. Like, I just thought everything she said in the podcast was so skewed. Like, and me and Ermine even watched another podcast after that with the same people, and she was in it, and she was still saying crazy stuff. So I'm like, I don't know if she's saying this for shock value, but like,
had to be
some of the things that she said really was like so far out there that I wouldn't, to be quite honest, I wouldn't take her viewpoint as this is what women think, because we don't think that, like, most women don't think at all.
Right. Yeah.
So what I think is starting to be really damaging is culture is now allowing this type of
behavior.
female
Yeah.
to be okay. It's cool. It's trending. It's like, you know, that whole city girls vibe of like, you know, basically playing niggas for the bag. Oh, excuse me. Playing for that. So,
But let's be real. That's what they say. Oh.
right. So, but the thing is, though, it's like, you know, like Lynn said, you know, I'm scared for my son because I don't want love to be a really like one of those experiences. So now you got to like try to look for female scammers out here. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to go ahead and take advantage of him and his money and his bag or whatever it is because of the fact that they just want a lifestyle being paid just simply because it looks cute and it's trending. And it's not cute, especially for Black women. And the woman that we saw in the video, she's a Black female. Yeah. Here's my thing. I again, don't care if anyone wants to be a housewife, be a housewife, whatever, it's fine, it's your thing, that's you. But I think it's, especially because she said she went to school, so that means she's capable. You know what I'm saying? It's not
she just don't want to do nothing.
No ability to go ahead and be the best version of herself. And the reason why I think it's so important for Black women to kind of put that whole idea of a dude paying your bills and everything like that to the side, because as Black women, we still are working towards creating paths for other women of ourselves, our color, to come through.
So, my question for you guys is that one of the differences between men and women, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, we date women for their looks, and then who she is secondary. Now, social media has kind of changed women's perspective on men, maybe not like your particular generation, but you guys will kind of agree when, and especially Linz, because Linz said this in the beginning where, don't worry, that you guys look for, you know, a provider, you know, you guys look at his economic status, his financial status. That is something that is taken into account, probably almost as close as to what he looked like. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like social media now, it really boils down to like how people perceive or how women perceive our economic status, the lifestyle that they think that we live based off of what we post on our Instagram stories and, you know, Snapchats and all those other types of things. So what's your thoughts on that?
Like my thought, go ahead, Nora.
No. I was just trying to understand the question.
So is it true that women, not that you guys don't look at looks, because obviously you guys do, but the fact that social media has changed dating is to where you could be the ugliest dude in the world, but if you look like you live a certain type of lifestyle, it don't matter what you look like. It's about what the pockets look like.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
No wrong with that.
Let me ask you, Lance, but then, you know, Nara, Ermin, you guys can chime in. So let's say you got a guy that he's genuinely a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like he's a good guy, you know, treats you with respect and all that.
Yeah,
he don't have shit going on. He don't have shit going on for himself. He probably makes.
What do you mean by?
He probably make $8,000 a year. Okay, $8,000 a year. But okay, so you got the nice guy. You got the nice guy who, as far as you're concerned, like y'all super compatible, but he make $8,000 a year. Then you got the other guy who makes $100,000 a year, but he gives you mixed signals. Like he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like he here today and he could be gone tomorrow for a couple of weeks. But when you guys are together, you're together. And when you're not, you're not. Who you gonna pick?
Honestly,
be honest.
Okay,
be
we're
honest.
We're compatible. Like we're compatible. At the end of the day, I always say I know I'm gonna make more than my spouse. That's just my path. That's what I'm manifesting. Okay. I'm gonna be the breadwinner, regardless. Okay. I know that. I'm putting it out there, and as long we're compatible, right? He holds me down. He understands me. He's considerate to my feelings. Appreciates when I go crazy and when I'm calm. I feel secure. Does he act like the man that I need him to be? Does he make me feel like a feminine woman, vulnerable, secure?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, then I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
But he can't do, like, mind you, practically
he ain't pay no bills.
He can't pay no bills.
He can't pay bills, right? I'm gonna pop out some babies. He gonna take care of my babies.
Okay, all right, that's
okay.
Okay.
Hey.
Get to work, bro.
So what about y'all two? Be honest.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like if the connection's everything. I think getting older and you realize what's more important and what isn't. I would hate to be with someone where I'm constantly having to question who he is or like what's he doing or if this is like a real relationship or whatever. Like I'd rather be secure. I'd rather be with someone that makes me feel that way, that makes me feel all those things. If I have an amazing connection with that guy that only makes, I don't know it's possible to make only 8,000 a year. We're living in a different country at this point. But I think in that, I feel like a man who does have all those qualities that meet your interests, there's room to grow. I don't think being with someone, they only make a certain amount of money, that's just how it's going to be for the rest of your life.
Let's assume that that's just going to be it. Like he's just like, you know what?
How you know?
Like he tells you, like he tells you, because it's my scenario. If he's telling you like, you know what, I only want to work odd jobs. I only want to throw newspapers in front of people's houses and sweep in front of the barbershop a couple of days a week.
Minimum wage is going up to $15 an hour.
It don't matter. This scenario, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So that's it. Like that's just
then you know what? If he's an odd job, I don't want to. Because there's certain people like a career job is not for them. Like they're good with doing something outside of the white collar, I guess you would say. Like they're more of a blue collar kind of person. If my person is the type of person that's like, I want to own, like, well, not own, he doesn't even have to own. Like I'm the best mechanic in town, and like everyone comes to me to like fix their cars, and I work for people who are whatever, and like that's what they're satisfied doing. They don't even want to own their own shop, because let's be real, as women, immediately you think, okay, you're a mechanic, you want to own your shop someday? Like you want to have your own shop? Like you're like trying to see like what kind of stuff that they want. No, for real. Like those are the questions in my head. Like sometimes you don't want to like push someone, especially when you first started talking to them. But like, I do have those questions, like, where do you want to go? I'm not going to lie. One of my qualities in a man is ambition. Like, I don't want to be with someone where, especially when you're having kids, who's paying? It's not just me paying for everything. We both made these babies. So it's like, I have to put all these things into account, because at the end of the day, yes, he may check every box on my list, but if he's not, if he doesn't have that drive to want to support us, it's not just saying like he has to have every business in the world or whatever. No, I'm talking about having the drive, because I've met people, I have met old grown men who have families who don't have they are what I would say, they are a construction worker, or they are a custodian in a school, but they make great money, because guess what they do? They make sure that they work in a school that pays well. They make sure that if they can do it, they'll do multiple shifts in order to increase their paychecks, because guess what? Not only they have a family at home, but half of the time they have a family back in whatever country that they come from. Right. So like I think there's so many different aspects than just telling us, okay, like he's only making 8,000 a year. Again, not in this country. But
when you're dealing with the hypotheticals, that's basically what it is. So that's what I'm describing. So you can't think of it like, oh well, nah, because I'm being hyperbolic in order to really.
Then if I had to, do I have kids with this man?
You can, if you want, at your own risk. At your own risk.
You're gonna have to take care of those babies more.
It's like you having kids with them, but just know it's like you're having kids with this man with the knowledge that he might be able to afford maybe some baby formula and a box of diapers every now and then.
Hold on, DJ, does he cook and clean?
Yeah, he cook and clean. That's fine. But you gotta understand, but the alternative. So the other guy, like I said, he makes 6 figures, you know what I'm saying? So let's not say 100,000. He makes 6 figures. He could be able to pay, you know what I'm saying, your rent sometimes. You guys can travel. You have access to so much other things that, Bobby Boogaloo, with 8,000, he can't be able to afford. Huh?
But
He's
it's not,
not
yeah, if you're
consistent.
saying he's not
Yeah.
consistent.
But let me
so-
tell you something.
consistent.
Let me tell you something. And Erming, I'm gonna have you go, like, in a minute. My thing is, in this day and age, right now, okay,
I need
because
consistency.
you guys represent, like, I will kind of call you guys the MTV
don't do it.
generation. Okay,
Don't do
y'all,
it.
you know why? You know why? Because I used to
We're
watch
the
my
what generation?
the
I missed it.
MTV generation.
Oh no, we're not.
Because
I'm
my
older than
sister.
that,
Okay,
baby.
so you mean to tell me y'all never watched Real World before on MTV?
Yeah.
No, I was not allowed to watch TV. Sorry. Try again.
All right, but wait, but you and my sister are the same age, right?
She's older.
By how much?
By a year, honey.
Okay, by
a
1 year. That means
don't
y'all
do me like
MTV
this.
generation. Even if you wasn't watching that shit or not, you're MTV generation. MTV generation. So the girls in my generation right now, it's all about how, like, what your lifestyle is about. It's all about what she thinks my lifestyle is and what she feels that she's getting
DJ,
into by messing with me.
Mhm.
So if we're okay,
Facts.
so if you classify us as the MTV generation, so how do you feel that we look at things then?
I feel like you guys have a way better perspective on men, women, relationships than women in our, like, generation age bracket. Because even a woman that I just did my play with, even her, like, mentality on things was, she had just a better grasp. Okay. But if I were to get, let's say, like a 21, 22, 23 and slightly older in here, her perspectives and opinions is going to be the polar opposite of you guys, the polar end of the spectrum. And that's just what it is. Because on Instagram now, a girl is she going to look at my shit and say, oh, he's got 500, followers. And right. If I like all her pics, she's not even going to look at me. But let's say if she see a verified badge next to my name, she see 2 million followers. Oh, who is he? Instantly, and mind you, I could either look more handsome or I could be butt-ass ugly. And I see some butt-ass ugly dudes pull some baddies. Why? Because they got money, they got followers, they got the social status, all of that stuff. Facts.
Yep.
Because Brittany Renner, if y'all know who she is, you know what she said? She said the types of men that she's interested in is always going to be the type of guys that cheat on her. Facts. And she can speak. She represents the general consensus amongst women who are born, let's say, like 1992 and onward. 1992
I
and
need to
onward.
hear from Ermine and Percy. Legit.
Percy already agree with me. He already agree with me. He knows.
Yeah.
Like, yo, real quick. See, Percy, like, he did this this big YouTube channel called Jubilee, right? And they get millions of views. He was on like 2 or 3 episodes. How many girls hit you up after you did that last episode that got like?
I can't count, bro. Can't count.
Exactly.
Well, congratulations. That's big.
Facts.
Yeah. I'm not signing autographs, all right? So.
So Ermin, yeah. So what's
Yeah, I'll let Ermin go first. I'll let her go.
That's a great thing that you
No,
got all
that's
these
awesome.
women coming
Woo!
from you now. Like, that's amazing.
But I assume Ermin agrees because she was not in the whole entire time. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I do agree. I think, and to be honest with you, even though you consider me the MTV general,
That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That's just what I label y'all.
I just want to say that, to be honest with you, when I was that age, though, too, in my early 20s, that's exactly what I was thinking, though, too. Or I thought there was more value to a dude that had money. Because here's the thing, like, no offense. I mean, if you want to say good-looking dudes, yeah, there's a few good-looking dudes, but the majority of dudes are not that good-looking. You know what I mean? They don't have makeup to help them. They don't have nothing to help them. Surgeries are not like that for them the way it is for women.
Right.
You know what I mean? So guys, they only have so much to work with. So at the end of the day, you can take a decent-looking man that knows at least how to dress. But of course, what's most important is what he's bringing as far as finances. So I always said, like, men have one job. Okay, and that one job is making money, because when it comes down to it, if I'm gonna be with a man, you know what I mean? Like, so you expect me to work? Okay, cool, cute. And then you expect me to go ahead and have kids for you, and then take care of kids, cook, most likely cook and clean, because regardless of what time, day, and age we're in, I mean, it's not, women are most expected to be the ones to be able to do those type of tasks as opposed to men. It's not like something that women are automatically adding on their list. Oh, my man has to cook and clean. Not really. No. You know what I mean? And they're expecting more. They're going to be doing more of the upkeep and everything around the home. So, and like my whole thing is like, So at the end of the day, you carry no kids. You go through no pains that I go through. You don't have to make yourself look very, very pretty and extra presentable in public because, again, our looks as women do matter. So you got one job. Make money, make good money, and work your ass off to do it. I mean, whether it's work smart, work hard, whatever, but you got to work to do it. Because at the end of the day, if I'm going to go ahead and doing all this other extra stuff and possibly working for myself if I so choose, I mean, the least you can do is for the one job that you got, make sure you're an awesome provider for my kids. And I think that's what comes down to the choice of the two men. And I'm not going to lie, that choice is hard, okay? Because two things for me. The one thing is the 6-figure dude actually is not enough for me. It would have to be what type of 6 figures. If he's like only making $200,000 a year, to be honest with you, with the path that I'm going, it's like really going to be toe to toe at this point. It's not really going to be something that's going to matter to me.
So let's say excess. So whatever you feel is like an excess amount of money, that's the second guy.
Excess.
So like he's making that money.
500,000. He can make M's. He can make 7 figures depending if he has a good year. He can bring in 2 million.
Okay. I mean, is he striving for more?
What'd you say?
Is he striving for more money?
Is he striving for more money?
I think every dude is.
He's a businessman. He could be an athlete. He could be a CEO. He could be whatever it is that you make him out to be in your head. But then, like I said, he's not consistent with you. He's just like, yo, like he might give you a baby, put you in a house, and then see you in a couple of months. But you have everything you need for you and him. You guys are good. But the other guy, he can't do that.
Well,
that's hard.
Thing. Like that is hard because like I would want, and I was telling Nora about this the other day. I was like, I'm interviewing, and because as far as the dating game, I'm interviewing for an amazing father for my future kids. I think that's how women should think. Because I mean, I could be with a man and he's all sweet and cute with me, but he has no ambition. But he's okay to cook and clean in the house and take care of the kids, but he ain't really. Because I mean, like, think about it this way, Linz. Like, you're talking about how you want a man to be a man. You're gonna disrespect. Let's be real, Linz. You're gonna disrespect that man. And, like, give him a couple of years. That man.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna run that man. I'm gonna run him out the door.
No, like
I'm gonna run him out the door.
So, that's what I'm saying. So, you might have picked that man, but that man will be scared of you in 2 to 3 years. Okay. So, like.
But maybe I'll motivate him to pay more than $3,000
or motivate him to leave.
Okay, he can kick the door too if he wants.
I mean, like, let's be real. Like, we can say, oh, I'll take the guy that has nothing, but he's giving me all the attention. I already know myself. I already know. I don't care about all that attention. Because for me, at the end of the day, I need you to kind of really be able to provide as a man, be able to kind of hold our statuses in society as well, because that matters. That matters for our children. And then also, I need you to do your job. Like, that's all I need. I mean, lovey-dovey is cute. Romance is cute. You know what I mean? But if you're sitting here really making $8,000 a year, which I think was like over-exaggerated, but something's wrong.
I said that.
He just be working odd jobs, He wanna. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He might go.
He might go and sweep up the.
He might go. He might go and sweep up the barbershop at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like little things like that. Wait, now what?
You got plenty of time to match, but no time to work harder. I don't think so.
So definitively, you're going with the 6-7 figure guy.
Yeah, but the thing is, you said, "Oh, we need a baby before." I don't. You got to be strategic. Let me get my ring first, and then you can kind of, hit me up every now and then, and then we'll do it.
So you're going with the 6-7 figure guy.
Absolutely, with the ring, not the baby.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
now Percy's turn.
Oh yeah, well he can't really.
Yeah,
he can't really answer
that question.
That's true.
He can't really answer that question.
Reverse it for Percy.
A woman that's like willing to be a housewife and love up on you all hours of the day and night, or but like really, I mean, she's not paying for anything. She's not contributing nothing. But you have a woman who's a boss. Everyone respects her because she's a boss. She brings a lot to the table as far as financially, but you know, as far as the like actual love, romance, connection, it's a little bit waning. It's lacking because she's
wait. So you said okay. Wait, all right. So explain that to me again. My bad. When, I heard the second part. What's the first girl?
The first girl is the girl that she's not bringing nothing to the table. She is the housewife. But she's loving up on, like, when we say income, you said 8,000, she's at 0. She's like for you, as they say. She's loving up on you, kissing up on you all hours of the day and the night. She's there. But then you have another woman who's a boss, doing what she's supposed to be doing, making good money, and bringing up your status with your peers when it comes to your work and what you do. It's just, but in the reality of things, you guys are either probably not able to live together because she's working in a different place. So there's a lack of connection.
Okay.
You know,
oh, no, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. I'll answer that. So I will say this. At the point in my life right now at 26, I wouldn't care whether she makes more or less. As long as, you know, she's respectable, she has goals, and she has ambitions. Now, when I'm in my 30s, probably trying to settle down, I had to learn financing on my own. You know, I grew up with a single mother. So for me, it's important. I'd rather save money and buy a house than buy Gucci and be broke. So I would much rather have a girl I see maybe once a week who takes care of her own business. She could take care of her own bills and do her own thing without having to rely on me all the time. Opposed to a girl who's just, hey, what's up, baby? How was work every day? I don't need all that. Because that's not gonna pay bills. Because you know what the thing is too, and a big reason why a lot of relationships don't last is, especially when you're talking about marriage and stuff, people forget it's also a business transaction too when you think about it. You know, because when you think about it, people don't go to divorce court because how much they love the person. They're talking about the money. You know what I'm saying? So I think at some point we have to be real. Money, as much as we don't like it, it rules this world. So, you know what I'm saying? I take the girl who makes more money and take care of her own business than the girl who don't make nothing.
All right. So right now, I place a great deal of value on an independent woman versus a codependent woman because I'm in that zone where I'm building. I don't want to talk to you every day. I don't want to see you every day because I have a problem. Like the last girl that I dated, she said that, you know, she feels that I don't like her or that I'm nonchalant because I'm not hitting her phone all the time. And the thing is, because I'm building, like there's certain, like I feel like my life has a mission statement because I learned how a lack of ambition can negatively affect a relationship like down the line because I was in a long relationship, as some of y'all know. And the reason why it crashed and burned the way it did was partly because of a lack of ambition. My life has a mission statement now, so I appreciate those same qualities in a woman, like especially now. Like you got something going on. Like we might not talk. We might talk every 2 weeks, but when we're together, we rock out. Now, I reach all those accolades, and you know I'm in a better situation. I don't want to be around a woman where we don't have a connection, like, because I think that was like the part that really stood out to me. It's like I'm a successful actor and I'm on sets and I'm doing this and that. When I finally get with you, what's keeping me with you at that point is our connection, because what you have going on for yourself doesn't, like, it matters and it's something that I'll support, but it doesn't have that much more of value anymore because I already have like my own thing set in stone and established at that point. So right now, independent woman. Down the line, you can't be super codependent, but you gotta be like a healthy balance of like both, where like I don't have to be there all the time, and our relationship doesn't have to be on the rocks because you don't hear from me, you know what I'm saying, for a couple of days. So yeah. So another topic that I like that's been a very big issue for me for years is the notion of men and women being friends. Now, in my experience,
oh my God,
in my experience, I have never, ever had a woman that was capable of being just my friend. I have tested the theory. I would say
true,
maybe 5 times, like 5 or 6 times, where I legit said, you know what, I want her to be my friend, and then let's see how it goes. It didn't work. About a month ago, and this was a girl that like I would call and I would talk to her, you know, relatively often. You know, we would just talk, like we were just friends. Next thing I know, I called her, and this is the first time I understood like the awkward position that men put women in, where you put a guy in a friend zone, and then he's just like, yeah, so so what's up with us? Like, so what we about to do? And you're kind of like, well, we're just friends. Because she called me and she was like, yeah, so I like you, and I was just like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Because I didn't want to like her to not be my friend anymore because I valued our friendship. But at the same time, I'm like, well, you're not really my type. So that just further proves why men and women can't be friends, because I've known her last year.
Disagree.
And it just didn't work, because this is the thing, and I'll let you guys go ahead. There is always one person in that dynamic that thinks I would be if like the right circumstances were presented, I would date this person. Especially if you're laughing at all my jokes, like you talk all the time and stuff like that. Under the right circumstances, you're gonna look at me and throw it at me. So like Percy, whichever one of y'all, what I'm saying, I don't know, but I don't think it don't exist. So me, no.
Percy can go first because I feel like
Percy.
So let him go first.
I say this. I don't have many female friends, and the reason why that is because at some point I'm like, I should go for it. I'll be honest. I think if you grew up with the person, you have many years in history, y'all was like family, maybe. But I think eventually at some point, like we mentioned connection, eventually that line starts crossing. She cried on your shoulder that night because her ex-boyfriend was a douchebag. His girl broke up with him and left for another dude. And now y'all crying on the couch eating ice cream and all of a sudden, y'all going at it.
Because when women be like, oh, he's my best friend. That's just a front. It's just a front, especially when you guys try to maintain these little friendships while you're in a relationship. Then it gets worse. You know what I tell girls? I tell them, you get a man, don't ever talk to me again. We still cool. We still friends. But go do your thing with him, because I would hate to be that guy where it's like y'all going through it and then you calling me complaining about him and then he think that I'm plotting on you when that's not even the case.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah.
Well, I'll say this. One of my last relationships, I was with someone who didn't believe in women having male friends at all, like to the point where if he even heard me laughing on the phone with a guy in the background, it was like all hell broke loose. So and that was just like a problem in and of itself. So like I agree in a sense where we all have that lingering issue, like not issue, but like we all have that with that like one male friend of ours where it's just like, if he had like X, Y, and Z, I feel like this is the type of person that I'd be with. But I think this may sound crazy. Well, not crazy, but I feel like women can have male friends. I think men can't have women friends. Like that's how I feel. I feel like women can honestly, maybe because in the sense we are more emotional, and it's true, like we do think a lot with our emotions when it comes to different things. I feel like we can separate, like this is just my friend, like we don't have to do anything together other than what friends do. I think for men, men a lot of the time do have that lingering feeling of, oh, like this girl
women have that feeling too.
More.
Yeah. Women have that feeling too.
Yeah.
Because that girl that I was
telling,
telling,
we don't.
Yeah,
I'm saying we can, but I feel like as far as like the line being crossed, I feel like a lot of the time it's not really the woman crossing the line in that aspect. I feel like it's the men.
Usually it's the guys.
Like
I agree. Yeah.
So I feel like for men, to be honest, that's why they say, yeah, you can't have women friends. No, you can. You can. We know people now that have been friends for years, and like Percy mentioned, a lot of the time it stems from childhood, where it's like I actually grew up with this person, so I don't even see this person as a friend. I see them more as family. There's like a difference. Like we can have relationships with people where it's further than friendship. I'm sure for you two, like you guys see each other more as brothers than anything else. So it's we're now forming a deeper relationship. We're more like family. Like Lynch, she's like she's my family now. Like we've known each other for over 10 years now. So it's like you put people in different categories of friendship. If you're talking about a friendship that you made a year ago, yeah, you're probably looking at that person like, oh, well, we've been together for years. And a lot of very long-lasting relationships, let's be honest, one of the traits that a woman always says is, I want that person to be my best friend. Like, I want to stem from friendship. So there's nothing wrong with being with someone, looking at someone and being like, oh, there could be more. But realistically speaking, I feel like men feel like we can't be friends with each other. And I don't think women see it that way. But
because it's naivete is why a lot of women don't.
Naivete.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all just, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things that I really don't like, and I'm gonna let Linson, Erming definitely elaborate, but what I really don't like is when some women, and I asked Nora this question, where some, like years ago, where some women, they will have a significant other, but then yet they'll still place that male best friend that she has over him. And then if her boyfriend at any point feels like, you know what, man, like, I don't like the dynamic that y'all got going on, you got to get him out of here. And she won't do it because of whatever. And it's just like, yo, that's when those lines, like Percy said, they really start to blur, because it's like, yo, how you going to be with me? And then I tell you, like, I don't like him, but then yet, as far as like we're concerned, like we're building together, and then hopefully this relationship will last as long as possible. But then if I don't like your friendship with him, you won't get rid of it for what?
Yeah. But you know what though? I think, I'm not the type of guy where if I'm dating a girl who has male best friends, I'm not that jealous. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also going to keep an eye, because I know dudes.
Yeah, that's what I'm
operate.
saying. It
You
don't
looking
even
for
be
the
jealousy,
smallest,
bro. It don't even be jealousy. It literally, because us as men, we see things that women don't, and we know certain things because we're guys.
Right.
If I'm like when I said how a guy, like, if I'm naturally going to feel threatened by this guy because you're calling him all the time, you're laughing at all his jokes, y'all know each other, and all other types of shit. But then, like, I'm not gonna want him around because you're supposed to be calling me, laughing at all my jokes and all this other types of shit.
Right.
It's like there's just certain, and don't get me wrong, it's like you can be cool, you know what I'm saying, but don't blur those lines. It's the point where then my spider sense and my antennas got to go up because of what you got going on with him. There's nothing wrong with like, oh, hey, how you been? You guys can catch and like talk and all that stuff and catch up. But don't be talking to this man 2 to 3 times a week. Don't be talking, like, y'all don't need to talk that much. I'm just saying, y'all don't need to talk that much.
Right.
Well, can I ask this real quick? Because when you mentioned the dynamic of being with a female friend, and it just always seemed like they wanted a little bit more from that. Was it friends at the time or friends with benefits?
It's friends.
Friends.
It's friends. Like two of those instances. Two of those instances. One of them. The first time I ever did that. It was a girl that was in my creative writing class, and I was not attracted to her. And I had actually it was like the first time me and my ex, we broke up. And then I was like, you know what? I want her to be my friend. And then I would just talk to her. I would vent.
You just picked her out.
I
really picked her out.
And it worked. And then mind you, so I would confide in her. I would call her. I would encourage her to date other guys. So I think she would like mention the guy, like, oh, you should go ahead and date him, to try to throw off those signals. Honey. Because a lot of times for me, it's like if I try to be friends with a girl that I'm not attracted to, if I'm making her laugh and we talk all the time, that comfortability and familiarity is gonna try to evolve into intimacy. That always happens. Yeah. And then the thing is, once they find out that I don't feel the same way, the friendship is out the window. And it don't even be because of me. It be because of them. They're like, oh, well, so if you don't feel the same way, then like I'm gone. And it'd be like that. And I'm like, oh, well, this is why it don't work.
Then here's the thing though, because I think that's another concern for us as women. And that's why sometimes some women won't even take in a guy friend, because it's like, why are you approaching me anyway? Because most of the times with guys, if they're approaching a female, it's not really just for friendship. You know what I'm saying? They're like, there's got to be a little bit more to what attracted you and not to come my way and have a conversation. Yeah. But I'm curious, because you said you're absolutely not attracted to this particular female. So what said, oh, let me, after my breakup, let me
I need a friend.
You know why? Because because in the creative writing class, we had to write poetry. And that was actually how I started writing poetry. I just started writing about my last relationship, my breakup. And out of everybody in the class, she seemed to be the one to appreciate and understand what I was writing. So I was like, yo, she actually feels where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe like after class one day, I just, you know, I was like, hey, like, what up? I don't remember what I said because this was 2017. But, you know, and it was a cool friendship. It's nice to have a female perspective because I'm a guy, and Nara would tell you, my whole circle is just straight dudes. So a lot of times I come off as insensitive or abrasive in a lot of the opinions that I have and the things that I say. Why? Because my life has generally been devoid of a female perspective, because there's certain things that I could talk to a female friend about that I can't talk to Nara about. I'm not going to talk to my mom about that. If you're watching this, I'm sorry about this. I ain't going to talk to you about. This is a fact. You know what I'm saying? But, I can, talk to a woman, you know what I'm saying? Like we're the same age, you know what I'm saying? Like there's just certain things that she's going to understand and I'm going to be comfortable talking to her about because she's just a friend. And I just can't seem to maintain those types of relationships because those lines always get blurred, feelings get involved. She's here today, going tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Because
oh my God.
But you know what? I agree though, because
He's here today, gone tonight.
I agree though, because there's times where I be best friends with the most ugly girl in school, and I'm not saying that to be.
Damn, guys, nice.
Look,
Beauty is in the
I didn't use the word ugly. I didn't say ugly.
But,
I just said I want to try.
I don't know.
All right, my bad. All right, but I've tried to be friends with girls, and then eventually, at some point, I don't know what happens. I'm not attracted to them, and then all of a sudden, they look like Rihanna. I don't know why. It just always is like that. Don't know why. I can't explain it. So,
you said after you stop talking to them, they start to look like Rihanna?
No. After, like, I'll find a girl unattractive. I'll be friends with her, but eventually, at some point, I think she's the hottest thing in the room. I don't know why.
Connection.
It's that perception,
It's
man.
a human connection.
Yeah, now I got Luther Vandross playing.
No. Once you connect, it doesn't matter the looks anymore. Like,
but I think right. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. But I think that's what Dimitri was talking about friends. Is like there's a difference between like when you grow up somebody for so many years, and even if it's a 10-year friendship, most people will admit that at some point they caught feelings for that other person. Now, whether they act on it or not, that's a different conversation. But a lot of times you do develop feelings for that friend. And then for some people, they're waiting for the opportunity. They're waiting for that boyfriend to kick you out. Your girlfriend to kick you out. And then you come home with the bathtub running. You know what I'm saying? So
facts, yo, facts.
All right. Okay, so I do agree that men and women cannot be friends. From personal experience, right? I can say I be plotting.
At least you're honest.
I used to live in Brooklyn. If I liked someone and I knew that they were in a situation, I would be your friend. But in the back of my mind, I would wait for her to slip up. And I feel like it goes both ways. Mm-hmm. Men do the same thing to women, so why can't I do it? Yeah. Why can't I do it?
That's the first time I heard that. That's the first time I heard that.
Truth.
Why can't I do it? If you can do it, why can't I?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So when she slips up, I want to be the ear to listen. I want to be the shoulder to lean on.
And you know what's funny? All those girls that I tried to be friends with, they tried to do the same thing. It was a situation where I was, facts. They weren't honest enough to say it. Because it was always a situation where I wasn't over my ex-girlfriend. So I was just using them to kind of like heal faster. You know what I'm saying? To kind of get over her. And then they thought like, oh, he's here. So maybe eventually he'll stop liking her and start liking me. But that day never happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
you know what I also don't understand too? Like, I'm just curious as women, if I approach you, right, and you reject me, why would you want to be friends with me after, Like,
they don't want to be friends though. That's the thing. They don't want to be friends.
Well, I don't know. I've encountered a couple that's like,
they want to be cordial.
You're cool. Yeah,
they want to be cordial. They don't want to be friends.
No. Where are you approaching me?
Anywhere.
But does it really matter?
It does matter. Environment does matter.
Okay.
Environment does matter.
I agree. I see a lot of girls in the gym. I don't want to approach them.
Don't approach me at the gym. I will dub you. That's my phrase.
Yeah, that's a fact. I would never approach a girl in the gym. But that's the only place I see girls now.
all right, if I'm on a line getting Starbucks and you like, oh, I like your hat. I'm down for a chat waiting to get my coffee.
That's not a bad spot. No, that's true.
You see?
I agree.
I'm at the library. You see me reading a book. Or like looking for something. Oh, can I help you find something? Just don't make it awkward. Like, don't come to me at the club. Don't come to me at church. Don't come to me.
Some people want you to approach at church.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Let me worship Jesus.
That's you, though.
That's me.
So now I'm basically saying she get approached in church. Know what I'm saying?
That's not what I said. No, I agree with what she means, like circumstance, like where are you approaching me at? Sometimes I may not want to be with you, but in all honesty, like you might be someone that I want in my life as a friend. Like you add value to my life and I want to be friends with you.
What purpose do you serve as my friend?
Nah.
What? As a male, like for me as a female and you're a male, what purpose do you serve as my friend?
But DJ made a very valid point.
Ask her that again. Ask her that again.
What person?
But let's go back to what you said, DJ. You legit said there are some things that I can speak to my sister about or my mother, but I want that female perspective.
Right.
Sometimes a woman wants a male perspective that is outside of her.
Get that from a guy, but get that from a guy that only wants that platonically from you. If somebody already showed genuine interest, like, yo, I want a relationship with you, why would you put them in that situation where they're in front of something that they want, but they can never have that?
Because what purpose do you serve for me?
Exactly, no purpose. Yeah, there's no purpose.
Me being a male friend collector.
Wait, what'd you say?
Me being a male friend collector, I collect a lot of male friends. And
that just sounds so wrong.
It's pretty bad that, okay.
Orbiters. That's what we call them. That's what we call them.
They're waiting. They're waiting to strike.
I'm a male friend collector.
And
I don't mean it because I want to eventually be with all these men. No, I don't. But if I find like a quality about a particular guy that I'm talking to, because of course when they start off talking to you, they're not talking to you to try to get in your pants right away kind of thing, even if their intention was to try to talk to you to kind of get there or not. You know, sometimes you really connect with the person because you can actually see that they're a decent or a nice person, or they have like nice qualities, or, you know, just because they're good to network with. That's another thing too, if they're in the industry that you're working in and stuff like that. So, you know, I will place them as a friend.
It's associate.
But of course, you know, I think with guys though, it's like, I don't know what it is. They see a woman, they're nice, the woman's nice to them. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like maybe she could be a girlfriend, and then it kind of just turns into something like that. But to be honest with you, I just like being nice. I like having friends.
You're friendly.
That are also nice.
You're friendly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you know, that's subjective. I mean, you know, but you know, I don't want to say that like a woman being like very friendly and collecting male friends is a red flag. You know,
it's like you like straight male, like I was gonna say straight male. Oh,
straight male friend.
Because honestly, I feel like a man can never truly be friends with a woman only under two circumstances: that he thinks like you're like not attractive, it wouldn't, you know, mess with you if you were the last person on earth, or he's gay.
That's true.
Or he's
That's
gay.
true.
Because
That's
that
true.
first girl that I tried to be friends with in 2017.
Or they see you like family. Like that's my
or maybe that, because that first girl in 2017, I wouldn't fornicate with her. She was the last woman on earth. If I had to save the human race in order to be with her to save the human race, I would not do that shit. That's why she was
the human race. Bro.
That's why she was an appropriate. That's why she was an appropriate person to try to be friends with. Because I was like, yo, I can't be friends with somebody. I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? She's looking kind of, you know, I can't do that. But maybe with her, I'm not going to have those thoughts. So that's why I felt that she was appropriate to do that. And it didn't work because she started liking me.
Exactly.
So, you know,
I think that was the point I was making. It has to be mutual. Like if one person is still trying to see where the move's at, it's bound to fail. It's just bound to fail.
Yeah.
True.
So now my answer to this is pretty relatively simple because, you know, I'm just, you know, kind of cut and dry. But I feel like maybe for you guys, it'll be different. I think I already know what Nara's gonna say, but what would you do if your family and your friends, like let's say Ermi, right? Like, let's say you had a boyfriend and Lince and Nara were like, I don't fuck with him. Like,
that's common over
they just
here.
were not like, they're just not messing with this dude at all. Like when you guys have like your little, outings and stuff like that, you can't invite him because he don't like them and they don't like him. Would you be, and mind you, Lince, you know what I'm saying, and even Percy, you guys are trying to, like, how would you feel about your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever, if your family and friends absolutely hated his guts? Like, they think that this person is like the scum of the universe. Because I've been there. So
I couldn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say I couldn't do it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Well, okay.
I knew that. That's what I said. I was like, I already knew what you were gonna say.
But it's not the reason why you think. I feel like for me, I actually value and I trust the perspectives of my family and my friends. I feel like the people who are closest to me know who I am as a person. Like, I've had conversations with DJ where DJ legit was like, the person that you're supposed to end up with, I know will have a good heart because you have a good heart. So like, it couldn't be like two different opposites of that person. So I feel like because I trust, if I introduce my person to say Lince, Ermine, or DJ or my mom, they know who I am as a person. They're gonna look at that person and be like, if this person I can tell does not align with her, I don't like that person. Because because there's differences. We have family members who just hate to hate, like point blank, period. But if you know the people in your life and you know how they are, because like I'm blessed to have family members who generally like people. Like they wait to see like who you are. Well, whatever, but who you are, whatever. But who you know, but seriously, who you are as a person. Like I, luckily enough, like our mom and my dad, even hit. They generally will meet you first. Maybe they'll kill you with kindness kind of thing. And then they'll start getting to know you and seeing who you are and how I speak about you and all this stuff. It would be so hard for me personally to be with someone that everyone hates. Like, I just would be looking at you sideways. Like, why do they hate you? Like, what the fuck is, excuse me, sorry. Like,
you curse on the MDJ podcast. It is what it is. Well, like, sometimes you gotta curse.
I know, but some people might be watching and I don't curse.
Well, I'll censor it. I got censor sounds.
Mom.
But like, all in all, because I trust my family's viewpoint. Again, I'd be looking at this person sideways, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If Ermine didn't like him, no offense to all y'all, but if Ermine didn't like him, I would really look at him sideways because Ermine likes no, but for real, like Ermine likes everyone. If someone like her would be like, Nora, like this ain't it, I would actually be like, yo, I have to like take a step back.
That's a fact.
Once on the other hand, I would be like, girl, stop. Like if everybody liked him and she didn't, I'd be like, girl, what's wrong? But like if Ermine didn't like him, or even Maya, like if them two were really like, nope, like this ain't it, then I would really have to step back and be like, what's going on here?
Girl, I don't like nobody. So.
Well, that's why I said not you.
Join the club.
I ain't like nobody. Because if they take my best friend, they eat for me.
Well, that's be like,
I'm gonna say that. There are some, like women have friends. Women have friends who actually feel like that. Not like that's a bad feeling or none of that. But I felt like I had to like compete with I felt like my ex's friends were trying to compete with me for her. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, yo, literally, like, you articulated that so perfect. That's why
hold on. I don't take it I be joking about it because I tell Nora she's not allowed to have new friends, but she be going to have new friends anyway, so I forgive her. Well,
there be some people that feel like that, though. That's a fact.
But I be joking about it, like.
That's a fact. Yeah, well,
no, because
I'm glad you're not one of them people.
No, because at the end of the day, love each other so much that we want each other to be like, we want each other to have that love. Like, we're not gonna, we may, like she said, we'll joke about it all the time. Like, no, I don't want you to be with nobody, like that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, for me, my battery's whatever. But at the end of the day, for me, I know, again, like I said, I just, because I know the people in my life and how they move and act. Again, if no one likes him, there's a reason, like there's a problem there. And it's not, it might be something that they see that I can't.
So let me ask you a question. So let me ask you a question then. But what if, like, you know, that, like, all right, like your relationship with this person, like you might have your issues. You might have just as many issues as the average couple. You know what I'm saying? But you know for a fact that, like, your boyfriend means you well. They might not like him for whatever reason, but like he does, you know what I'm saying? He does his thing. Right. Because I feel like a lot of times, like situations like that happen is because you go to your family and friends to complain about things that you're going through. And some of them things might happen to be your boyfriend, your man. And then it becomes a scenario where every time they hear about him, it's always bad news. And then it's going to change people's perception over time. So they're going to be like, well, if every time I hear about this guy, something bad, then don't be with him. And then even when things are going well with y'all, it's not going to matter because all they ever heard was bad things.
With bad stuff, yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. I will never forget this advice that I had an old college friend tell me. She was with her boyfriend. They're married and have kids now. She was with her boyfriend for a very long time. When they went to college, they actually moved in together, like the whole thing. They were basically like an old married couple at the age of 20. And I asked her, I said this to her, I said, you never talk about your boyfriend. Like, I was like, you've never said anything about him. He hangs out with us from time to time, but he does his own thing with his friends or whatever. But out of all my friends, she was like the one friend that had nothing, like literally nothing to say about her boyfriend. And she told me advice that till this day, I remember. She goes, there's no reason for me to be complaining about my relationship with you, because at the end of the day, that's my relationship with him. You don't want to hear about that. And I was like, you're right. Like, why do I want to hear? Because she's like, why am I going to tell you about every complaint and everything that goes wrong? For what? At the end of the day, and she said it like in a joking way, like relationship, like we're a boring couple. There's nothing really to talk about. But at the end of the day, she was just like, there's not, like, I shouldn't have to be talking about my boyfriend every now and then. There's so many different things to talk about. And again, I agree. There's certain women out there, and God forgive me for saying this, every little problem that happens in their relationship, Jack and Jill and everybody in the neighborhood needs to know about it.
She's sending screenshots of your worst arguments to everybody.
She's sending screenshots. She's sending this. She's sending that. So I'm going to look at the person sideways because all I know about this person is negative. I think there's a difference there. Like, if I'm coming to you and you don't like my person because you had a weird interaction with them, or you see the way that he moves and you don't like the way he moves, or there's certain things in his life that you don't like and you're letting me know, there's a difference. But if you don't like him because I'm just complaining about him all day, I already created the narrative that he ain't shit. Yeah, I'm just saying. So it's like there's different levels to it.
It's like whatever conclusion they come to is not an accurate assessment because it's not based on the whole thing. It's only based on 25%. Facts.
Right.
Facts.
Yeah.
I think there's three things for me. Majority of which I touched on. It's about complaining to your family about every problem. I think that's the biggest thing that goes against a relationship, is the fact that you don't tell them about the good things, that you do. Is always the negative stuff. That's one thing. You got to look at that. Two, your family. Because some families love drama. Mom always want to start an argument. The uncle always want to start a fight. I think, your family plays a big part in that too, depending on how they are. And then three, I also think too, at the end of the day, when you love somebody, you fail to see the red flags. And even if you do see them, you're like, oh, nah, I love this person so much. Let me forget about that. But I think a lot of the times when people from the outside see it from the real, they give you an honest perspective. And, even for me, I'm looking at, a lot of my past relationships, my buddies, we laugh about it to this day. But it's like, yo, I should listen to you because I was so blinded by this girl's looks that she was just treating me like crap and she was just walking all over me. But they was like, yo, bro, leave her alone, man. She no good. And it turned out they were right. So I think it just depends on those three dynamics for me is, those three things.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, to be honest with you, and if it was like probably a few years ago, my younger days, I probably would have been like, because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's sleeping next to him at the end of the day. It's my business, okay? But like now, I think it's more so if I'm saying, I'm like looking to possibly build with this person, and then I'm bringing them around my friends and family. I don't know if I care so much about friends' opinion. You know what I mean? Like it depends. It depends. I don't know if I care about if it's like my parents are like, no, you know what I mean? Like, no, that's not a good idea. I would really have to really consider that and take that into consideration because it's not only because we also have to understand, and I get it because luckily, we come from stable families. So we have to understand sometimes other people's families are not that stable. So they might not always have the best intentions for their kids. It just happens. That is a thing. So, you do have to kind of have your own wherewithal, your own your own intuition on things too. You kind of really have to pay attention to yourself as well. But I think ultimately my parents said, no, it's not only because the guy could be a decent guy. They just probably don't have certain things that my parents are looking for. But at the end of the day, I don't, because especially first year marriages or like things like that, that's really hard year. People don't realize how hard that year can be for a lot of couples. There's a lot of learning, a lot of growing pains within that first year. And if you're already bringing a situation where the parents don't really fully support it, I don't want to put someone that I actually love and care for into a situation that might actually tear them down because I've seen that actually tear people down. And so I think I might have to just allow that to be because I don't want to put anyone in that type of situation because that would really hurt.
Yeah. No, it's fucked up. And I'm in the same boat with Erming in the sense, all right, so I'm on two sides of the spectrum. So for me personally, I feel like if my mom said like, oh, I don't like her, or if Nora said that, in order for her to even get with me, there's like an extensive vetting process. So you got to get past me. And that's already like hard to do, in itself. So it's like, if I feel like she's a good person, that's me. Like, I don't really care what other people think. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what it is. Like, I'll take it into account and it would be great. Like if I'm going out with my mom and my sister, to like go out to eat and stuff, I would love to just bring my girl. And then all the women in my life are just there. And then it's just great for me. On the other end, it's all right. So for me, last situation I was in, her mom hated my guts. And I felt like that had a lot to do with the fact that I wasn't like a lawyer or aspiring lawyer or heart surgeon or gastroenterologist or some shit like that. I didn't have anything to show for myself economically. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like once I caught wind of that, I kind of just separated myself from it. And the thing is, I think it's harder on women than it is on men when the family and friends don't approve. Yeah. I felt like the biggest mistake that I made was cutting off that line of communication between me and her mother. Because honestly, like me now, we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to just sit her mom down. Like, what are some things that I could do to make you feel comfortable with me being with her? Because your opinion is important. The thing is, I just didn't have that maturity level to do that. So it's one of those things where I take it, like for me, I take it into account, but I don't really give a fuck. But if it's something that will help my significant other feel better, then it's just a bullet that I got to take. If it's her family, I'm just going to deal with it. Because I feel like my family, they're going to respect me regardless. Because it's just just what it is. Like whatever I want to do, you got to respect it. Otherwise, like we can't really rock. But her, I'm gonna have to support her in order for us to kind of, sail smoothly. You know what I'm saying?
But again, I think also we have to take into account how we see you. So like you just mentioned, like I may not like every single aspect about her, but at the end of the day, I trust your judgment to know that what you two share may be certain qualities or things that we don't see. Because again, like we can't totally judge someone's character by one outing or like I only saw you a couple of times. Like you know this person intimately emotionally, like in all different aspects. So you, at the end of the day, are more of a true judge of character of who that person is than who I see as that person. But I do also agree with Percy. There's sometimes we see red flags that you may not see as well. So it's like, I think depending on what the red flag is, yes, you should definitely listen to it. If I'm telling you, listen, like I saw her the other day doing X, Y, and Z, and honestly, it didn't look too good. Just be careful. That's a red flag.
Right.
But if I'm just telling, like, even what Ermi said, sometimes if we don't, certain families don't have that connection, and automatically like they feed on the drama, and it's like, I don't like her. Why don't you like her? I just don't. I don't like the way she lays her baby hairs or some BS like that. Like, you know what I mean? Or I don't like the way she dresses. Honestly, some people, it's like it could be the neighborhood that she came from. I just don't like it. I don't like the neighborhood she comes from. Don't like her, X, Y, and Z. She's trash. Forget it. And no, we need to stop that. We need to look at the overall person. There's a reason why DJ picked that person. There's a reason why Percy's with this girl. Like, we have to take into account, why are you with this person? And we have to be open to that, for sure. Like, I feel like us just not, I mean, obviously we need to be aware of those red flags because unfortunately everyone has one.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, what can you handle and deal with the relationship, and also respect? We just need to respect everyone at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I want to say that I agree with Laura, but for me, it's different. Like, my mom does not like anyone. She's only met one person, and that's my son's father, and she didn't like him. She does not like anyone. So whether or not I wouldn't take her opinion serious. But as a single parent, if my son said he did not like that person, I would cut them off.
Yeah, you gotta rock with that.
100%.
Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable.
Like, that's at this rate, that's the only person's opinion that matters.
Yeah.
For me.
Because it's dangerous if you don't listen to him.
I'm in
a different space. Yeah.
Everybody else could hate him for their own reasons, but if my son and him vibe and they're good and my son is good with that, but the moment my son says, it's out.
Right. I feel like that's like a new age thing, because I think that, like, you know, parents of this era now, like, you know, this day and age, they care a lot more about those things. I feel like parents, you know, like baby boomers and shit, they didn't give a damn about those types of things. Like, because you could just, like, I've been in that situation where, like, I wasn't really rocking with, like, you know, one of my parents, you know, like, he didn't give a fuck. He was just like, oh, well, fuck what you think. I'm gonna still, you know what I'm saying? So,
right.
but it's very respectable, and I admire that, you know, like, you take that into account and you place his feelings at, like, the top, like at the forefront. You know, that's cool.
100%. Yeah. And children, and I work with children. Children are an amazing judge of character. Yes. They will tell you point blank and period that this person ain't it, or this person is the bee's knees, for real. And like, you know, your kid, like, but before all like the immature or whatever BS, at the end of the day, they have to live with that person too. Like, your family ain't living with them unless they live with you. It's like another thing. So like, for your child, and I agree with DJ, it's like, back in the day, unfortunately, a lot of single parents, if they like found someone and they lived with them, you were the last thing on the list. Some people are probably like, they found out the day of that, oh, well, this is your new stepfather. Like, what? Like, who is this person? It's like, we have to take into account, especially our single parents out there. Your child should be number one in that factor of who that person is that is going to enter to your life. Right. Like, especially if this is going to be a long-term thing. I mean, if you're just dating that person, like, you're getting to know them, it's okay. You don't have to like necessarily talk about that person to your child. But if this is someone that you extremely like, this is someone that you want to be with long-term, that next factor should be your child and how you introduce them into your life, period.
So Nara you might remember this conversation. I think I probably had multiple conversations with you about this topic. And I'm going to say, the three of you are Black women, the number one, like, the best kind of woman walking this earth. You guys are just, I don't know. I can go on and on about how, you know, great I think Black women are. And you guys are my only option in the dating pool. The only option, okay? The last time I dated a girl was a Latina woman. I'm going to say this. Latina women are overrated. First time, last time.
Don't say that.
Don't put that out there.
I'll say that again. I feel like
Oh,
Latina
okay,
women
no,
are
okay,
overrated. This is my show. This is my
I'm
show.
trying to say that.
It's my show. So now Nara might
said they might be overrated. I think that's definitely because you have to understand, like Latino women. I mean, we have the whole yellow bone is what he likes type of thing, and that was okay. And that woman was Latina. You know what I mean? I think what Latina women do get overplayed. And
with Black men, yeah.
Black women tend to be the
all my friends used to hype up Spanish women like crazy.
Okay, that's cool.
They all used to hype up Spanish women like crazy. And again, I mean, my experience with her, albeit short, was pretty mediocre. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got maybe, buenos dias, papi, in the audio messages for like the first couple of days. And then after that, it stopped. The VIP treatment only lasted 3 days. 3 days.
But,
You see what I'm
bro,
saying? Like, yo, I've had Black women keep up, you know, like the fake front for a little bit longer than that, for a couple of weeks.
that's true.
For a couple of weeks.
That's true.
For a couple of days.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I basically told Nora, and I guess I would tell you guys, even though you're not my sisters or none of that, you know, even though Ermin, you know, you're kind of, you know, saying kind of like my, you know, twice removed sister or however that was. I told my older sister, and I still feel this way now. I said it then, I will say it again now. I will absolutely never support my older sister bringing home a white guy. Period. Whoa. Period. Okay.
No.
The tea is hot, baby.
Do not bring home shots fired. Shots fired.
Asian?
Do not bring home Tom, George, Robert, William. Don't bring none of these guys up in here. None of these guys up in here.
No, Tom, George, and Henry.
No, none of them. No, none of them. See, I am not a supporter of interracial dating. Now, I'm not a hypocrite. I am not a hypocrite. So meaning when you ask me, so do you date girls of other races? I don't. I just told you, I preface this whole thing by saying I think Black women are the best and they are the only option for me. If I'm having, you know, a baby, it has to be with a Black woman, period. I don't want any octoroon, quadroon babies. I just don't. I want my babies coming out looking like me, having Black features. Good hair, good African-American hair, Black features. I'm just saying, it's just what it is. Now, with you two, Erming and Lince, get you a Black man. Get you.
I believe, hold on.
No Pedro Sanchez's. No
Rico Suave.
I am open to love, whether it comes in blue, purple, yellow, green, white, brown, black. Love is love, no matter what color.
After you exercise, after all the Black men that you could possibly date, get the first right of refusal. Okay, they have to get the first right. They get first dibs. If it don't work for Black men, then I guess
I'm open to everybody.
I'm all about Black love. If I find the right situation where it's a Black male and we can, oh my gosh, that would be wonderful. Yeah. But I'm not gonna close the door on other races. I think
yes.
That as well. I think,
and I loved it. And to be quite honest, like when DJ told me this, I laughed because I was just like, I did, because honestly, like he knows me. I love different cultures. Like it's something that has always been fascinating to me, and not in a weird fetishizing way, but but as someone who like enjoys a variety of cultures, I am very much open to different races. And I think there's nothing wrong. I think one thing that I grew up learning, especially my mom always said this, she says, never be closed. Am I off?
You were.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Never be closed off to different cultures, because our planet is big and small in the same time, where it's like, we are so connected and we're so alike that we don't even realize it in many ways, but we need to learn and grow and explore. I think there's nothing different wrong.
Foods. You can go to different places.
Whatever.
But you don't need to be bringing none of these tout moun sa, moun blanc, all of that. Don't be bringing them up in here.
admit nothing wrong. If
There's nothing wrong with love.
Meets and falls in love with someone that happens to be not of their skin color. Because at the end of the day, like Lynn said, love is love.
Love is love.
If I meet someone who happens to be Asian and loves me and loves my family and loves everything about me and wants to build and grow, why would I say no to that?
Okay. All right. So let me kick you guys some game real quick. Lynn, so you said
love is love.
Your end all be all. No. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna change your perspective a little bit. So you said earlier in the podcast, because I remember you said that you're manifesting being like a top earner woman, right? Yeah. So the best thing that you can do, and it's the same for us as Black men, the best thing that you can do as a successful woman who's accumulating wealth and resources and all of that is to share that with your own people. Don't go and be this successful.
I have a black son.
Don't go and accumulate all this wealth and resources and then go and share it with people that are already at an economic advantage. And
who said I can't share it?
I can't.
Relationship have to
right.
What'd you say?
Because marriage is a political decision. Who you marry tells me who you are. When you marry a woman, you don't just marry her. You marry her culture. You marry her community. You marry her people. You understand? So when a Black man marries a white woman, he's making several clear points and messages he's sending out to his own people. Because there's no greater symbol of your loyalty to your struggle than to marry a sister who shares that struggle. Is love purely blind? I disagree. Love is a function of your values and your priorities. You have to be the person because you have to teach your son loyalty to his community. European Jews do it. Arabs do it, Chinese do it, we're the only people who feel anxious and ambivalent about telling our Black boys that you better love and marry a Black woman. And you know why we feel ambivalent? Because all of us have been conditioned by church envy to be colorblind. We're constantly told over and over again that it is wrong to be for yourself before you are for anyone else. And that's why Africans are dead last.
I don't agree.
There's nothing wrong with being loyal to yourself.
There's nothing wrong with being loyal to yourself, but it's also who you love. I can't tell my son who he connects with better.
Can that white woman ever understand your son's struggle?
Fuck no.
Thank you. So why would you want him to spend the rest of his life with a woman who can never understand how he feels when the New York City Police Department pulls him over?
Dr. Umar,
you need a woman who can feel you. And the only woman on earth who can understand the Black man is the Black woman. And that's why I cannot respect a Black man who is not committed to a Black woman. That's the greatest symbol of pride in self.
I was going to say, what does my relationship have to do with how I can be able to help my community?
It is still a contradiction. No matter how much you think you did for the struggle, if you really were concerned with Black people, you would have committed yourself to a Black woman. So it doesn't matter how successful they are. It doesn't matter how great you may claim them to be. At the end of the day, you didn't think enough about your own people to marry a woman who looks like you.
I don't think have to be the same.
If I were to be, like this NBA player, and then I have tens of millions of dollars in the bank, why would I go and get a white girl? Because when I die, all of that is going to her family. And then
it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If I die, all my wealth is going to her family and her friends. Yeah, it is. I mean, okay. Like my kids might benefit. My kids might benefit from like me not being there and all other types of stuff. But generations. First of all, those kids are not even going to be mostly Black. If I have a baby with a white woman, we get the majority of our cells from our mothers. We are not the seeds of our fathers. We're the seeds of our mothers. So my kids, if I have a kid,
it's still Black.
No, it's
when
not.
They look at your
no.
Your child is Black.
Let me tell you something right now. Look at a biracial kid. Look at a biracial kid that came. No. Look at a biracial kid that came from a Black woman, and look at a biracial kid that came from a white woman. They look nothing alike. Look at Lionel Richie.
I don't know. DNA works how it works. They're still Black.
Man, yo, Percy, I'm gonna have to get Dr. Umar Johnson up in here.
Yeah, nah.
I'm gonna have to get Dr. Umar Johnson up in here. Like, yo.
Hey, I'm telling you, if the police stop them, they Black. That's what I'm saying.
No, they're not. Right. Yo, let me tell you something. I just talked, but the thing is, I just talked to because I work at a branch, and I was just talking to my biracial coworker about race. We were talking about like ancestry and Black history and race, right? And she was even saying, as a biracial girl that is of a way lighter complexion, she was even saying that she knows that she has certain advantages that most Black people don't. That's a fact, and her mother is white.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
She's still Black though.
What'd you say?
Still black though.
No, if you look the part, but a lot of times them kids don't. Look at Alfonso Ribeiro's. Look at Alfonso Ribeiro's kids. I'm gonna Google them right now.
That's true. That's true. I've seen them. I've seen them.
So you seen them? That's what I'm saying. And the majority of kids, the majority of kids that came from white mothers, they look like that. That's a fact. You rarely have a
not all of them.
You rarely have a biracial kid that came from a white mother that look majority Black. That's facts, because they're not gonna have hair looking like Lince. They're not. That's a fact. Not like me. How many biracial kids you seen that came from a white woman that have 4C hair, 4C, 4B hair? They don't.
A few.
Do they really? Like Zendaya, for example. You can stash Zendaya in an Asian household, a Hispanic household, a Black, and she looked like she fit all different categories. That's a fact. And you know why? Because her mother is white. Her mother is white. Straight up. Anyway, the point that I'm saying is that the best thing that I can do is share resources amongst my own community.
DJ.
That is a fact. If I play, because the meeting's almost over. If I play this video amongst Afrocentric people, they're all gonna agree. Because I'm about my people. That's all I'm saying.
When I make money, I will.
The only love, in my opinion, that's on the table is Black love. Period. To me, love is not love. You know why? You know why? Because a white woman would never be able to see herself in me. A white woman is not going to sit there and then understand what I go through. If I were to get pulled over by a cop, like he said, she's not going to understand. She's not going to understand. She's not going to understand my plight as a Black man. We share no cultural, aspects whatsoever. None of them. And then there's no such thing as a pro-Black Afrocentric white person either. Facts. Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen a white person that's pro-Black before that really understands certain shit that's going on right now? Nah.
I mean, we do have to agree that, yes, I agree. There are certain aspects of us being Black that white people will never understand. We have to take that into account. At the end of the day, they're not going to, like you said, understand how you clench or be nervous if a cop goes by. I even get nervous, and I'm not a Black male. I'm a Black woman, but I still get nervous because it is what it is. But we have to understand we do have allies. We do have people who do care, and we do have people out there that do how would I put it? Yes, we're Black. They see that we're Black, but it stems beyond it. It's beyond we're Black, we're white, we're whatever we are. It is how
look at these kids. Do they look Black to you?
Who are these kids?
Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
He's a white dude, so he don't count.
Yeah, he do count because Alfonso is Black, and look at how his kids came out. There's an agenda, and you can see in the media now where they really are trying to encourage Black women to date white men. You see it in the MCU. You see it in commercials. Nora, I brought this shit up to you. Okay, you see that a lot, and then they feminize a lot of these LGBTQ relationships that you see. It's Black men in it, and then they have the white guy being like the knight in shining armor, the white knight in shining armor for the Black woman. Okay, that's a fact. Sonic the Hedgehog is an interracial couple. Freaking Falcon and the Winter Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Same thing. Freaking Anthony Mackie's sister was always mad disrespectful to him. Treated him like dirt. The minute Bucky walked up in the spot, she's like, "Oh, hey, mad, submissive, mad, nice." You would think she was a completely different person. You see what I'm saying? And then I can't think of any right now, but we can go on and on and on after the fact about the amount of agenda pushing that they're doing. Interracial dating. Ain't no more jungle fevers no more. DJ. They don't want to see us with white women. They want to see Black women with white men.
But you have, not to cut you off, but you also have to take it in account. The increase in interracial relationships are on the rise in general. Whether it's not a good thing for us, it's not a good thing for us. "Quote unquote," pushing it on us. We have to be realistic. What is in today's agenda is they want to have everyone quote unquote represented. Let's be realistic. A lot of the time, and I have children, I have my students, I have students that come from Black fathers and white mothers and vice versa, or different races where the father is Black and the mother is Asian. That is just the reality that we live in. So in MCU world or in whatever else, they want everyone to feel represented. I mean, but that's like, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is this is the world that we live in now. There's a lot more interracial relationships.
Exactly.
The world that we're eventually
going to how it looks like in real life.
X amount of years, the world that we're going to be living in, X amount of years down the line, Black people are already like an endangered species in the sense where
No,
we're
it's not true.
Yeah,
That's
we are.
true.
We're gonna be. We might not be there yet.
true.
So Black people are not.
Caucasian
So Linz, Black people are not systematically under attack in this country.
I didn't. No, what I'm saying is.
So, wait, but yes or no? Are Black people systematically under attack?
That's not the conversation we're having. We're having a conversation.
No, because that's a rhetorical question I'm asking you. So I'm prefacing my point with that question. So yes or no? Are Black people systematically under attack in this country? Yes or no?
Systematically under attack?
Systematically under attack. Yes or no? Wow, this is crazy. So you don't believe that Black people are systematically under attack in this country? You don't.
I feel that we have to fight for what we want harder than other people.
So you do not believe that Black people are systematically under attack in this country? Because it's a yes or no question.
We are.
Systematically.
You guys don't. Okay, so
they said if we want to crush the Black struggle, we got to crush the Black family. So guess what they did in 1970? King dies in 68. In 1970, they came into the Black communities and de-industrialized our city centers. In 1970, they started shutting down the factories. Remember, up until the 50s and 60s, you didn't need a college degree to get a decent job. Many of us got grandparents who worked in factories their whole life and lived better lives than we're living now with 2 and 3 degrees. They could work in their same neighborhood, and everybody worked for the factory. Good retirement, pension, benefits, medical. They started shutting down the factories in 1970, and then they went into the high schools and did what? Started deindustrializing the inner city high schools. Up until 1970, you could graduate from almost any school in New York, certified as a plumber, certified as an electrician, certified as a carpenter, auto body, brick mason, a welder. They took all those programs out. These are the skills that pays the bills, gentlemen. As long as you have a skill, you can always feed your family. But if all you got is college degrees, you might end up in the unemployment line. That was the economic castration of the Black male. Now let's go to 1980. The CIA comes in, cocaine import agency. They drop off crack. So now the unemployed Black man, who has always been a breadwinner, Envy, even in slavery, we were always the breadwinner up until 1970. Now the crack comes. You got a decision. I can sell this crack and try to put some food on the table, or I can smoke it to deal with the fact that I'm no longer economically relevant to the Black woman. And let's be clear, the decade of the 70s was the decade of making the Black man economically irrelevant to the Black woman. We're the only man in America who is out-earned and out-educated by our mates. No other woman in America out-earns and out-educates their mates. And this is not the Black woman's problem. I want to be clear. This was systematically done to make us irrelevant to our families. Then the 1990s come, Bill Clinton crime bill, 3 strikes and you out. Mandatory minimum wages, the Bill Clinton crime bill. Now all those unemployed Black men who got caught smoking crack or selling crack now being sent off to jail. And then they also give us the ADHD so that we could dope the kids up with the same medicine that sent the father to jail. Then the year 2000 come, George Bush hits us with the what? Faith-based initiative. He finds a loophole in federal law that allows you to finance churches. So now the mega churches and the medium-sized churches in the Black community, Charlemagne, are being financed by the government. You think it's a coincidence, Envy, that you don't see no major churches involved in the miseducation movement? No major churches involved in the mass incarceration movement? No major churches involved in police genocide? Yeah. No major churches involved in poverty? Where is the Black church in 2017 when it comes to Black people issues? They're missing in action because they're being paid by the government to stay out of the struggle. And that's why it's called faith-based initiative. Your pastor is the new FBI agent.
Oh. At my belief, because I'm gonna clip this part. Yo, can't make this shit up.
Oh my God.
Yo, like at this rate, the rate that we are going at.
We were talking about interracial relationships.
At this rate that we are going at right now, Black people are going, Black men in particular, the masculine, strong Black man is going to be an endangered species, and eventually we are not going to be living in a world where there's going to be a lot of black people, and we're already the minority right now.
What?
The majority,
No,
the majority is going to be biracial kids. It's good. That's in the very distant future. Because you guys cannot.
The Caucasian people are going to be the minority.
You're not perceiving it, but I'm telling you that is a fact right now. Black people are systematically under attack, and at this rate, with the media and the way that you guys think, as far as like love, because y'all think love is love, and you guys will date the rainbow if it means being in love. That's you guys, because you don't have a black perspective. I see the world. I see the world through a black lens. That's just my thinking. So that's why I only feel that I can only be with a black woman. Why? Because I see the world through a black lens. It is not helping my people. It is not helping my people. It is not helping my people to get a white girl, a Hispanic girl, Asian girl, or otherwise. And it's the same thing for you guys, and it's worse. It is worse.
But you gotta understand, there's people now.
I'm black first.
They're not just straight black.
Exactly.
No, sorry. Say that again.
So what I'm basically saying is that regardless if you want to preserve the African American or black, population, then you're gonna have to go all the way to Africa and marry someone from Africa.
That's not true. That's not true though. That's not true, because there's plenty of y'all right here. That's not true. There's plenty of you guys right here. Essentially, because this is not like critical. It's not like critical race theory or none of that. But what I'm saying is, and it's just my opinion. You guys might have a different opinion. It's just not right for me. I don't know if I'm making you guys feel like that's the wrong way. Again, whether or not that's the case,
white, Spanish, Korean,
whether or not that's the
whatever.
case is neither here nor there. I'm just saying, for me personally, I feel like black women are the best, and there's just no other option on the table. But y'all, that's it. And I just feel like, because I only mentioned that, I only mentioned economics and like the geopolitical stuff to kind of further prove my point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just think that it just will never sit right with me if I seen you, Linz, walking out like your son, beautiful, like black boy. You know what I'm saying? I cannot. I just cannot feel. And he's got a great personality. I cannot condone you walking down the street with, you know what I'm saying, some Tom Hanks looking dude. I'm just not. Like, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Tom Hanks is not even my style. Johnny Depp, maybe.
Not to say that all white people it's not to say that all white people are bad, but I'm just saying, this is for me.
No, you're not saying that. And also, you're not, I have a good friend of mine who, same thing. She goes, I love all races, but I'm going to be honest with you. I only want to be with black men. I don't want to be with any other races. So there are people out there just like you who don't want to necessarily, and that's not even being racist. I think it's just your preference. If you only prefer to be with someone of your race, that's okay. I'm
aware of what I am and where I'm at in the circumstances. Because it is a preference. It is a preference.
White people who only want to date white people.
Yeah.
Asian people, and let's be real, a lot of Asian people only want to be with Asian people.
Thank you, because they be in-house.
They be in-house. Facts. We should not stigma like, you should not say it's wrong at the end of the day to just want to be with your race. It's okay. I just think it's a problem where you're enforcing it on other people. This is not how the world works.
This is my thing. Like, you grown. I mean, like, y'all grown. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, like, I just, you might not see me there when y'all get married. You might not see me there. That's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, yo, I might not be there. Nora, like, yo, if it's some time.
Right.
Yes.
Wait, what happened? Oh, I can't hear her now.
Over on celebrated. And if that happens to be a black man, wonderful. If it's not going to be a black man and another race is celebrating anymore, I don't know.
But when I ask you, like I said to Linz, like, just make sure that all the options were exhausted. So like you went down the list.
No.
You went down the list. I went asking like, yo, what happened with, you know what I'm saying, Jamal and Tyrone and all these guys.
You just can't.
You can't tell who you connect with. I can't say, today I'm gonna walk out the door, I'm gonna connect with a dark-skinned black man. I can't predict who I'm gonna connect with when I open the damn door.
Well, that will be the best case scenario for all parties involved. I'm just saying, black only. Black only. That's all I'm saying. Like, yo, you see on my Instagram shit. Like the Dr. Umar Johnson videos, he says, Black women are beautiful, but let me refocus. Black women are beautiful, but let me refocus. I say Black women only. I feel bad for the white girls and the Spanish girls that look at my stories because it's not for y'all. It's not for y'all. I'm not for them. Like I'm not for you. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said again, you know, Ermin, I come to the next Thanksgiving or you know whatever you guys are doing. If you have a Monsieur Blanc on your arm, you know I'm gonna look at Nara. I'm gonna sip some water. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just it's just what it is. You know.
So
but
Percy, what's your perspective? Are you open to different races?
Hell yeah, he is. Percy love white girls. That's just
no.
When we ended the meeting, I told him, I said, bruh, I know you love white girls and everything like that, but you gotta get on board. You gotta get on board.
Why do everybody assume that? No, that is not true.
I've been seeing you, but no.
I've dated way more Black women than anybody. I've dated way more Black women than any other race. And I do agree with Dimitri in the sense that, like, yeah, in other cultures, they only want to date their own people. And nobody complains about it. I think it's only a problem with Black people where if you want to date beside your culture, why you can't get a white man? Why you can't get a white girl? I think it's ridiculous. Me personally, I say, if you want to date outside your race, do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because I firmly agree, whether you date a Black person or not, whoever you are as a person is going to dictate what you do for your people anyway. If you're not a solid person, because there's Black people who date, just date beside the race, but they don't care about Black Lives Matter. They don't care about George Floyd. They care about anybody but themselves. So I think really, if you happy with whoever you with, you know what I'm saying? Hey, all power to you.
I think one thing Dr. Umar Johnson said, and I agree, is that he says who you choose to marry says a lot about like you. And that's a fact. Like, cause it's like you are the sum of the people that you associate with. So what does that say about the person that you choose to share the rest of your life with?
But I don't necessarily agree with that though.
I do. I do. You know what I'm saying? I do. Cause I like I said, like my belief may or may not be, but it's right for me. I can only speak on me. And then Nora, like I said, I warned you. You know what I'm saying?
Girl.
No, but to me,
not coming to
you
the wedding.
said that who you choose to marry is who shows you who you are as a person. But to me, I'm like, because you did it outside your race, to me, that shows that you're a very open-minded person, to be quite honest. Because
liberal.
In a sense, you are kind of
I'm very liberal.
No, seriously. I would be honest with you. When I look at an open interracial couple, I see it as, wow, this is a blending of not only two families, but I'm very curious of your story because it is outside of the norm, especially different types of races. We've seen Black men with white women, Black men all day, every day. That doesn't fascinate me. What really fascinates me, to be quite honest, if I see like a Black person with an Asian person or a Black person with someone who's Indian, because to me, it's like, this is really outside of the norm. And I actually want to know your story. How do your families blend?
It sounds like
your families blend and stuff like that. Even, let's be real, even a Black person from America and an African person from Africa is two different cultures as well.
That's cool. And I will wholeheartedly support that.
An African person and a Black American person are night and day. And we need to be realistic.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah, that's great. And I will wholeheartedly support that. I just feel like, you, and don't take this no kind of way, Nara. It's just my assessment. I just feel like you're just interested in seeing different combinations. You just want to see different, mixes and matches. Mixes and matches. Like, Black and Indian person. Oh, how'd that happen? You know what I'm saying?
This is not Tetris. That's not what I'm saying.
And let me ask y'all something. And I mean, I asked already, but how, like, we look at, let's say, like, people use Jewish people or Asians as an example, how we look at them and we're like, wow, like they have their own businesses and they're so successful and they're on a different echelon than Black people or Black and brown people tend to be, right? You know why? Because they stay in-house. And then I already know that, like, I'm not going to go and date a Dominican girl because I already know how they feel about me. Because wasn't it like Haitian people getting chopped up in the Dominican Republic?
They still getting chopped up.
Exactly. When the pandemic was going on, they were beating up black people who are walking down the street in Dykeman in Harlem. So I already know how they feel about me. So I'm not going to see a pothole and then run over it anyway. You see what I'm saying? Because it's already bad enough that like you might not even get accepted into a black family that don't like you. And that happened to me. Needless to say about people who are not my own. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. Yeah.
I can see your viewpoint, but I'm also able to see my own viewpoint because it's mine.
It's yours, yeah. So like whether it's right or wrong is neither here nor there.
Exactly. So if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. No one can change who you are.
Absolutely.
And how you feel.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like I said, Nora, get you a black man. Lince,
I want to
get
be
you a black man.
At the end of the day, no,
I mean,
at the end
get
of
you
the
a black
day,
man.
I will be with someone. You,
Yes,
you
I mean,
would want
we're
me to be with someone that loves and cares about me. Point blank, period. If he's a black person, I welcome it full-heartedly. Exactly. But if he's someone from another race, I welcome it full-heartedly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See,
and I'll end it at that.
See, y'all more Martin Luther King. See, I'm Malcolm X. You see what I'm saying? I'm Malcolm X. Like, I'll send you guys my questions for Malcolm X video, and I interview Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? And then he speaks on interracial dating. I'm just saying.
And that's okay. And that is okay.
Yeah. But you know what though, to me, like I do agree with you because like I do see it in the media too, like the whole, you know, the black family, especially like we watch Power, they're all shooting up each other, you know, black on black violence. But you watch these other shows, you know, there's the happy marriage with the black woman and the white man. But,
right.
It's 2022, man. You know, it is what it is. I think we have to, if you love someone outside your race, as long as you're a strong, solid person, it really don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Because this, you could date a black woman, and what if she beat you up all the time? Then
don't be with a black woman that beats your ass. You have options. Like it's not like, oh, I'm gonna be with her just for the sake of her being black. No, obviously there's more that goes into that. Like the type of person that she's, the contents of her character. But a suitable black person.
I know, but I mean, like, all right, let's say, all right, that happened. She beat you up, whatever, you left her, and then you meet a Mexican girl who treats you like the king that you are, right?
That has nothing to do with her being Mexican. That's just her strengths are predicated on the weaknesses of my ex. So of course I'm gonna perceive her in a certain light if a woman was beating my ass.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
If she's consistent, I'm going where I'm celebrated.
I agree with Ernie.
Hey, why limit yourself to just one flavor ice cream? We can have 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mad liberals, man. I'm telling you, this podcast will be in all the Afrocentric freaking Twitter pages. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Make this up. Do you believe that marriage is holy matrimony or a legal contract?
Wait, say it. Or a legal
Do you believe
contract?
that marriage is holy matrimony? Like this is forever till death do us part, you know? Or is it a legally binding contract amongst two people?
Legally binding contract.
Legally binding contract.
I think it's both.
It can only be one. You can only have one.
Holy matrimony.
Woo!
That's nice.
Legally binding contract.
Legally binding.
But till death do you part. All right.
Ermine.
Then I would say the contract.
Damn. Am I the only one with holy matrimony?
Yes, girl. It's you're combining two assets in one. You need to protect yourself as well as the other person needs to protect themselves.
In short, I want to thank you guys for coming on the podcast. I think, you know, this was definitely an episode for the books. Very revealing episode. You know, and if you guys made it to the end of this video, please like, comment, subscribe. You guys have any last words, places that people can find you at, etc.
Okay, so this was a test. Thank you so much, DJ, for inviting us to this awesome podcast. I hope we get to do this again because we actually were just saying how much fun this was. So shout outs to you for continuing to make an amazing content, and I would love to come back. Look up for us because we are going to start our own podcast soon. So
what's the name?
What's it called, Ermine?
4 walls and a closed door.
Oh,
yes.
that's a nice name.
Stay tuned
Nice
for
name.
that. And yeah, thank you so much, DJ, for inviting us.
Thank you, DJ. It's nice to meet you, Percy.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, Percy, this is awesome.
But anyway, so I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.